Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Hoovians cast. Oh no, sorry, wrong channel. If you want the Real Hoovians cast, you go over to the American Gobshite, who puts out lies and all of these other false accusations. By the way, just before I come on, your panelist, the blind dyslexic, has been sending me links to your YouTube videos, which I don't understand. So my message to the blind dyslexic is see what your actual host is like. Go and check out my videos of all of the abuse, or maybe, you know, take your head out of his fucking ass and look at what he's actually doing. Yeah. So again, he's went on a bit of a rant on X, right? Now he'll do a couple of videos because I've mentioned his name here. But he's claiming that I said the show was cancelled, which I never did. Also, RTD has put up a photograph today where he's inside the console room. Now, apparently, people out there were saying that the TARDIS set was taken down or something, but apparently that's my fault, and I was lying on that. I never mentioned that about the TARDIS console room. I also never said that Doctor Who was cancelled. I said it should be cancelled. I also said that no decision would be made until Series 2. So I don't know why you've gone on this rant where you've accused me of being drunk and being a leprechaun, because when you actually lose an argument, you start the insults. Everybody knows, right, that you're a loser. So leave it out, all right? The bottom line is, no matter what you say, right, and even if a decision is made at the end of Series 2 and it does manage to stay on Disney+, you still lied. Back in March, you actually said the show was already recommissioned. RTD and others have stated, okay, that no decision is actually made yet. There won't be a decision made until the end of Series 2. So no matter how much how you try to move the goalposts on this situation, the fact of the matter is you've lied, right? And you continue to lie. And the thing about it is, what I love about you is you're so deluded, you actually say, well, I'm the only one that's right out of 99 people, right? You're not. You're not. You got it wrong back in March, so shut the fuck up. You've got nothing right, okay? And I just recently reminded people how valid my sources are. When I put up, do you remember the embargoed photographs that I put up during Series 11, Joe? Do you remember the ones in relation to the New Year special? Do you remember you were having a go at me that time with your bullshit saying I had no? So do you remember that? You probably don't, but I'm going to remind you later on in a little video where I'm going to show you those photographs and remind you again that my sources, I have sources, you don't, right? You don't, and you never have. And you've been jealous of me. And that's all it is. You're jealous, right? And I don't care how you spin this on your YouTube channel. You can play the victim all you want and cry, oh, no, these legion are coming after me. Nobody's coming after you. Nobody's coming after you. Sure, the other day you were so desperate for attention, you unblocked me, right? And you are complaining that people were talking about you as if you weren't there, right? Yeah, of course we were. Nobody wants to have anything to do with you. You're a piece of shit, right? And again, you might think it's funny to call me a leprechaun and to use the stereotypes. You continue to do that, right? Continue to do that. And I'm telling you now, right? Your channel is not going to last, right? It'll be gone by the end of the year if you continue to harass me. Now, I'm giving you a warning, right? I'm giving you a warning right now. It's the last warning that you're getting. You back the fuck off, right? Right? You back the fuck off. You leave all of the people. And by the way, I'm not going to mention any people because you'll go onto your YouTube channel and say, oh, look, he's using people. He's mentioning their names. So I'm not going to mention names. But you know the people that you've been harassing and bullying these last couple of months, right? And I'm telling you, I've got all the evidence. I've even got the evidence from years ago when you attacked me as well. I've kept everything. Every screenshot, every video, that you've done of me and the accusations that you made. And your latest one, by the way, is going to get you into serious trouble with the accusations that you made. Right? I have told you what was going to happen if you continued to harass and bully people and harass and bully me. And you've continued it. So I am now letting you know that I am going further about this and I am taking legal action against you. Right? I am. And this isn't a joke. And I don't care if you don't take it seriously. It'd be better if you actually don't take it seriously, because then to watch the smile being wiped off your face will be the greatest fucking thing ever. But be under no illusion now. I am looking into this legally and I am trying to get something done. And by the way, right, once I sort out which way I'm going to go about this, say I go the cease and desist way or whatever, right, if you fail, right, to abide by whatever's coming next, right, I'm coming after your channels and I'm taking them as compensation for the years of abuse. And you can laugh and you can make all the videos you want, right? I'm letting you know right now, if you continue this, right, you continue this any further, and you bring up my fucking wife again, right? Bring up my fucking wife one more time. Go on, you little scumbag, right? Go on. You are done. You are done, mate. You're done. I am not putting up with this shit, right? The bottom line is you're a fraud. You're a loser. You latched onto this show because it was the most popular show. It was the longest running sci-fi show. You're not actually a fan of Doctor Who. You never were. You latch onto things. You fancied yourself. You fancy yourself to be like this 50 Shades of Grey writer when that thing was hyped up, when all of the sex books were hyped. You decide to try your hand at it. That's what you do. You latch onto things that are popular and you hope you get some sort of success out of it. Right? What a sad life you live. And by the way, I'm not saying it's not slander. You are a liar. It's proven. I mean, it's the most fucking logical person go through your fucking thread and your videos and they'll see that you're an absolute fucking fraud. Right? So, you know, all these threats about you suing me, I want you to sue me. I actually do. I want you to go and get a solicitor. I want you to go and do these things because then you'll be exposed. So go ahead, right? I'm not playing with you anymore, right? You have caused enough damage, right? And I won't mention the person that you upset the other day because I don't want you going onto your channel. Ah, look, he's mentioned this, that, and the other. Look, he doesn't care, blah, blah, blah. Your usual crap, right? But you know what you did. Imagine, folks, imagine this, and this is true, by the way. Imagine texting someone messages, right, to try to get under the skin on the day of the funeral, right, burying a family member. Joe decides to go and abuse this person behind the scenes when he's burying his cousin, right? That's what you're dealing with. And you notice when he makes all of these claims about me doing this, that, and the other, he never actually presents evidence. I show you plenty of stuff, all the stuff that he says about me online. You've seen it now. It's well documented. He's been at this a long time, right? But he's absolutely... I've never came across someone as jealous as him. And I'm going to say, you are jealous of me. You're jealous of me because you're in the Doctor Who, because you mentioned... Because you know what, very interestingly enough, in your video you mentioned that you were doing this longer than me, right? That you were on YouTube longer than me. And then I came along and basically I was doing the things that you were claiming to be doing for years, and I was actually putting out proper source information. And you never did. And it rubbed you up the wrong way that I became popular as fast as I became popular on YouTube, right? And the fact of the matter is, I could leave this whole thing tomorrow, right? And come back in a few months' time and I'll still fucking have an audience, right? It's funny because his tweets, you go and look at his tweets, right? His posts on X. You can clearly see, seriously, you can clearly see he's jealous, right? He is jealous, right? He's doing this a long time. Who cares if you're doing it a long time, right? You never put out one piece of legit information, right? And even if I never put out any other pieces, which I have, but those photographs alone, right? The embargo photographs, right? Proved that I had sources anyway. And even if I didn't put anything else out after that, I'd still be more legit than you. I'd still have more of a fucking record than you would, right? You have zero credibility, right? You don't have sources. It's been proven that you don't have sources. Sure, people that are on Gallifrey base have backed me up on this. You have no sources, right? You bring Marty on your channel to legitimize your bullshit. When I used to bring Marty on, and he'll back me up on this, by the way, I never said that any of the stuff that he was reporting on was from sources. I always said it was either from Reddit or wherever else he was getting it from, and I would let him talk about it, right? Now, you've made some serious accusations. You've also slandered on X as well. I have all of those screenshots as well. So, as I said, you know, I gave you the opportunity. A couple of weeks back, I actually did say, didn't I, that, you know, I'd give you a chance to back off and shut the fuck up. Well, you haven't backed off and you haven't shut the fuck up. So I am now going to do what I said I was going to do. And by the way, just be under no illusion, just in case you think I can't get to you, I have your address. It was very easy actually to get because you talk so fucking much. But I have your address, and I've handed me address now, your address over to the solicitor now. So, you know, as I said, this is getting dealt with now. You will never, ever get to do what you're doing anymore. You're done in this fandom now. You're done as a Doctor Who tuber, and you've only yourself to blame, right? You're done. You're done. And I don't care what anybody says out there, right? You've pushed me these last 6-7 years, whatever it is, right? And I've had enough of your bullshit. It's done. It's game over now. I gave you the opportunity to walk away. I gave you the opportunity to shut the fuck up, and you actually did put out a video and said you were going to back off and shut the fuck up. And within 2 days, you started again, right? Because you can't help yourself. So you will shut the fuck up permanently. You will have to start from scratch again. And there's no way you're getting those subscribers that you have on your channel now. You'll never regain those subscribers, right? You will have to build from the very bottom again and work your way up. But you won't be able to work your way up because you're a loser. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, if you didn't have the early success that you had, you know, you wouldn't have what you have now, right? I told you to keep away from me, you won't. So it's getting sorted. Legally, just in case you start saying I'm making threats, legally, right? And it's not a threat, it's a fucking promise, right? It's a promise. You had your chance to back the fuck off. You had your chance to leave people that I know alone, and you continue to bring up my wife and other people in your dirty, goofy, little rotten teeth mouth, right? And you can tell your little host to stop sending me fucking links, right, to your videos. I don't give a shit what you got to say. Everybody knows you're a liar. And as for you as well, blind dyslexic, right? Maybe go and look at my videos of the abuse that he's been thrown before you start fucking mentioning, it's against Twitter's, it's against the terms of service. Right? When Joe was claiming that I'm bullying him. I'm not bullying him. I retaliate to his bullshit, and that's all I've ever done. And if you don't want to take your head out of his ass, well, then that's on you, right? Anyway, let's get into the Doctor Who news that we're here for. 15 minutes is all he's getting. 16 minutes is all he's getting. He's not getting any more of me time now. we've got Doctor Who stuff to talk about. So as you know, I've put up a video a while ago, a couple of days ago, I think it was now at this stage, in relation to the titles for the new series of Doctor Who. And I've got to say, I wasn't really inspired by any of the titles. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, we have the Robot Revolution, which, you know, could mean that. And we got Lux, which again is the Miami one, it looks like. We've got the Well. Apparently, yeah, hold on. About the Well, though. Apparently, the Well is supposed to be, according to Shelley, who does be in the chat here sometimes. I was in Dan's chat and they were writing up stuff. Apparently, the Well, if I'm correct in saying, is supposed to be a sequel to Midnight. Right? It's supposed to be a sequel to Midnight, and Mrs. Flood or something is supposed to be the Rani. Right? Some shit like that reveals. Shooty Gatwa actually talked about in the Good Morning America interview that there is a big reveal to be revealed. Is it the Master, or is it actually the Rani? Because obviously we've got the Sea Devil spin-off coming up, so you know you could take a guess at who it is. We've also got Lucky Day, which is another one. The Story and the Engine, which is the Spider one. Do you remember your man claimed? Do you remember your man claimed that Stephen Moffat was doing a Christmas special with spiders? Well, there's your fucking spiders, you moron. We've also got the Interstellar Song Contest one. Wish World is another title, and The Reality War. The Reality War. And they are the titles for the new season of Doctor Who. And I've got to be honest, not one of them jumps out at me and says, yeah, I want to watch that. Now, there's been a few trailers released, and I'm going to be honest with you, right? Bar the German trailer, which happened to be in German as well, different music. That's the only trailer that I have liked, is the German version of the trailer. Every other trailer that they've put out there is absolutely rubbish. By the way, I know I've seen people talk about it, that, you know, maybe he is going back to basics. Maybe he is doing this, that, and the other. You've got to remember that these were filmed back to back, right? These are filmed back to back. So there's no way that he all of a sudden decided that he should have done that from the beginning anyway. So if this is a course, because some people believe that he is trying to give us a bit more of what we want, but I'd have to disagree with that statement, for the simple fact is we already know that they were filmed back to back. So if season 1 was shy, which it was, how are we expecting season 2 to be any better? And by the way, this whole thing of get a companion home, I'm sick of this bullshit. Like, I'm just sick of this crap. There's nothing original here, by the way. And I know there's been a couple of arse lickers of RTD, you know, putting up their posts, you know, having a go at fans who want to criticise. But in fairness, some of those people are actually in the show, so of course they're going to defend it, and they're going to lick RTD's ass, because that's what they do. But the bottom line is that this is going to be an absolute shit show, no matter which way you look at it, right? They were filmed back to back, so there's no way that I'm going to see the improvement that's necessary for this show to say, for me to say, yeah, okay, they've done well, I will watch the third series. Right? And by the way, just this all goes back to this. If this show was so successful as people have claimed it is, we wouldn't be waiting on a decision for season 3. It already would have been made, right? We'd know by now, right? And they'd probably more than likely be filming for season 3 now. if the show was a success. But it's not a success. And this is why they're waiting to see what the ratings are like for this series. And I'm thinking maybe now, mightn't happen, but maybe they might wait also to see what the ratings are like for the spin-off. But either way, if Doctor Who was as successful as people make it out to be, we wouldn't be sitting here today speculating about Doctor Who's future. Simple as that. So they could say whatever, people could say whatever they want out there in relation to the show. If the show was successful, we wouldn't even be sitting here debating about season 3. It'd already be in the bag. But the fact of the matter is it isn't. And with Disney having a flop now with Snow Latina and the 7 CGI dwarfs, Disney is in big trouble. They've lost more money because of an actress who couldn't keep her fucking mouth shut, had to go on a political rant before the movie was ever seen, which then turned everybody off. Now, obviously, the Rachel Ziegler fans want to blame Gal Gadot because, they're all a bunch of Jew-hating bastards and are saying the reason why the movie flopped is because she's a killer, right? I've seen that. That's what they've said, right? But the fact of the matter is your little Snow White and your little Snow Latina and the 7 CGI dwarfs flopped because the lead actress, Rachel Ziegler, couldn't keep her mouth shut, right? She couldn't keep her mouth shut. She had to give her political opinion, right? And I'm sorry, she's not paid to give her political opinion. She's paid to fucking act. And the sooner the better that all these actors and actresses and showrunners and directors all get this through their thick skulls. The reason why you are all losing money is because you keep opening their mouth about something, right? Right? RTD goes to America and has a big rant about Donald Trump, right? Maybe you should be having a rant at your own fucking Prime Minister who's fucking literally locking people up for putting a post on social fucking media. Hey, Matt. We got Robert in the chat as well. We got Garbage, various things. Bobby is in the chat as well. It's always nice to have Bobby in the chat there, making sure that everything is all right as well. We got a few mods in there as well. Oh, by the way, you see any trolls come in, start talking about that dickhead and saying that he's right, I just remove them straight away. You have my permission. Remove them out of the chat. Not even going to fucking acknowledge those wastes of spaces either. But look, if this show was successful and the 60th had been successful, we wouldn't be sitting here today complaining and moaning about the future of Doctor Who, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's not successful. And just because it is with a certain demographic, I know, yeah, the little weirdos who want to sexualize everything, of course they're going to like it. I mean, Shooty just has to look at another bloke a certain way, and then they're all fucking, getting the handkerchiefs out and playing with themselves, right? That's what gets them going, right? Whereas for sci-fi fans like myself, Doctor Who fans that have grown up to love this show, we like our character development, we like our stories, and we like a good story at that, and a well-written story, and that's what we used to get. Now, I've been watching Classic Who the last couple of nights. People have probably seen I've thrown a couple of pictures up on my social media. I've also said, my private chat, I've let show the lads. So I've been watching Jon Pertwee's era, and I'm telling you now, right, I don't care what anybody says, man, none of modern Who, none of it, and I mean none of it, right? Now, I do like New Who, you do know that up to a point, 2005 to 17 for me, but even that none of that New Who that I like even competes with Jon Pertwee's era, right? They're two different animals as well. I mean, the New Who version of Doctor Who's is different to the classic, right? And to me, they are separate entities. I know people like to kind of, they're not. They're separate, and they should remain separate. there was this talk about the anniversary. We were celebrating 20 years of New Who. Should we say? I do. I think Classic Who is its own separate entity. I think we should celebrate New Who on its own. 20 years of that show, and we've had, let's be honest, we've had a good run, except for the last two showrunners, right? The last few years. But they're separate entities, and they should be distinguished against they should be separated now. I don't want any connection to the two of them, right? Because what happens is, and that's what they've tried to do. The last couple of showrunners tried to connect them quite a lot. Whereas RTD, when he came back the first time, bar some of the old actors and actresses that worked on Classic Who, there wasn't many throwbacks to the classic era, right? He was very careful in how he handled that. Because at one point he wanted people to know the Doctor Who was back, but at the same time, it had to be its own separate entity to work. Yeah, I'd advise anybody that hasn't watched Classic Who in a while, it doesn't matter what era, what Doctor, even the two Doctors that I'm not really a fan of, Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy, I'd still watch their Doctors over anything that Ncuti has done now. I still haven't done the Christmas special, and as I said, I have no plans to do the Christmas special. I'm not doing the Christmas special. I'm just going to go straight into the next series. I don't want to do the Christmas special. I've seen enough reviews to see that story was a pile of crap. I have no interest in watching it. And I have no interest in seeing Nicola in that neither. So I'm not watching it. I'll jump straight in with the next series and we'll go from there. I just saw the stupid interview Whittaker did last week. What a clueless imbecile. I know. She's still trying. I mean, she's coming out moaning about how, the role took a lot out of her and how much responsibility and all of this, and she thought she was losing her mind and all of this. And then after all of that, then she goes, yeah, but the blokes in the fandom didn't really take to me and all of that. Well, maybe when you came along and you hadn't done the Stylist video where you mocked Doctor Who fans and then came out with all the male gaze bullshit and saying that girls didn't have a role model until you came along. Let me tell you, sweetheart, right? Before you even turned up on the scene, there was women dressing up and little girls dressing up as the Doctor, right? Okay? The Doctor transcends gender. Basically, the Doctor, can inspire women, children, men, anybody, right? It didn't need to be a certain gender to inspire. The show was very good at inspiring a younger generation like myself that grew up loving the show as a kid back in the 80s, right? It inspired, right? And while in modern fandom, yes, there are a lot more women in the fandom now than there would have been back in the day, and we can all admit that. But it's because that's science fiction over the years has become far more accessible. So, we as fans have never had any problem with female representation in Doctor Who because there's always been one, the companion, right? You didn't need to make the Doctor a woman to inspire young girls, right? The Doctor's character was already doing that. So she still doesn't get it that she was the issue and that Chib's writing was the issue. She still won't take responsibility for the fact that she was a piece of shit when she came into the fandom, right? And she is a piece of shit, by the way. Just like Ncuti is a piece of shit today with all of the stuff that he's coming out with, right? And I'm sick of all of these activists, because that's what they are, coming into our show and then lecturing the fandom on how they should think and behave and on what they should believe in. The bottom line is that when you take over the role as the Doctor, your job is to do the best that you can in that role. You shut the fuck up, you don't insult fans, and you come out, even if you're pretending, you come out and you say you love the fucking show and you grew up with the show or whatever fucking bullshit lies that you have to win the fandom over by, you do. Right? Even Matt Smith wasn't a fan, but he became a fan of the show. Nobody is saying that an actor or actress that comes in to Doctor Who should be a fan. They don't necessarily have to be a fan, but it does help if they are, because then they understand the fucking role. They understand how the Doctor should act and how fans feel about the character. Hold on for a minute. I just want to check something here real quick. You know me, I notice things when I'm live streaming. And I just want to check something here. Here we go. Let's see. Right, sorry. You know me, I notice because we have a tight-knit audience. I know who actually comes in and watches me streams, and I just see a name in here that I've never seen before. So I suspect it's Joe, or one of his little minions. See, he accuses me of having minions, but he has his minions. Oh, by the way, I will prove that the blind dyslexic has been sending me videos. I have a little video, so I'll show you. Because unlike him, you know, I show receipts. So, you know, stop getting your panelists to come over to my channel, as I said, you know. So the titles have come out. I have to say I'm not inspired at all. We've had trailers. Now, I know everybody is saying that they're fascinated by this cartoon animation episode. I'm sorry, but it looks fucking stupid to me, right? And even the fact that she comments on her waistline, right, tells me everything we need to know. Listen, this is going to be a pile of shite. It's not improving, right? It's not improving. They were filmed back to back. This isn't improving. This is why they haven't made a decision. They want to see the audience reaction to the second season. But they've got what is it now? It's down to 2 million. It's down to 2 million or something like that now in the viewers, right? So when it comes back, if we go under 2 million, which I think we are going to, right? We're going to go under 2 million. There's no way that he rescues this from here now. It's too late. It's too late. He should have got it right Jordan the 60th. He didn't. He should have got it right Jordan the Christmas special. He didn't. He should have got it right Jordan the actual episode or the actual season. He didn't. Right? So, you know, you only get a few chances in this fandom. And let's be honest with you. The fact of the matter is that after Chibs, it left a lot of bad taste in fans' mouth. They were only going to give Russell one chance to get it right. And it's not going to happen, right? We've already seen what he's produced. It's not going to happen now. So this doesn't recover no matter what people say out there. And here's the thing, even if this was slightly better than the last season, it's too late. The damage is done. The damage is done with the 60th anniversary, the Christmas special, and well, the two Christmas specials now, isn't it? Because we had the Moffat one and Serious One. So the damage is done. The damage is done. It's down to 2 million in the ratings, right? Now, years ago, ratings did matter to all of these fans. Now ratings don't matter. See, they keep changing the goalposts, right? And the same thing that was happening during the Jodie Whittaker era is happening now in relation to all the articles, RTD calling out all these little liquor arses. Oh, say good and positive things about Doctor Who. Go on, go on, go on. You even have Pink News, right? When you have Pink News in your Doctor Who thread, right, saying they can't wait for the queerest Doctor Who ever, right, you know that the show is gone, right? And it's actually very fucking interesting because during the Jodie Whittaker era, I do remember, obviously they did pick up on something I said and then stole me information and then removed all the links to my channel because they're scumbags. But even back then, they weren't going directly into threads of acting with Doctor Who. They would do that articles in the background and they release that articles. But they're actively now going into the Doctor Who threads and comment sections, right? And commenting on this second season of Doctor Who. If Pink News is doing that, then you already know that they know what's coming in this series because they've obviously probably got a preview, right? Because remember, the first 3 episodes, by the way, folks, have been previewed. They have been reviewed by people out there. Now, obviously, they're spoiler free and all of this, but even reading some of those, it doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good, right? It's the same rhetoric that they used during, Chib's second season. He's trying to go back to basics. He's trying to do this, that, and the other. It was too late then, just like it's too late for RTD. RTD is not rescuing this. RTD is not rescuing this. And there's Shelley there now in the chat. Maybe Shelley in the chat can tell you all of the rumours that they heard in relation to who Mrs. Flood is, who's coming back. I've already kind of told them here, Shell, because you were obviously in Dan's chat. But if you want to tell people what you've heard or what you've seen, also apparently as well, the whole season has been leaked online, apparently. Now, I'd love to get my hands on it because I would watch it, because then that way I'm not giving BBC a view. So if anybody does have the whole season of the second season of Doctor Who, send it to me. I'm serious. Send it to me. I would love to watch it now and get it done and over with. And without any spoilers, then I'll tell you if it's actually good or bad, you know? That's what I mean, Matt. You're absolutely spot on. It was borderline, wasn't it? I mean, it was borderline. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Look, the first episode of season 2 will tell you where the show is, because the Christmas special didn't do too good, right? So there's been a bit of a break, and we get the first episode. So when the first episode drops, if it doesn't improve on the last season in any way and stays around the 2 million mark, well, then it's not recovering. It's not getting any better, right? And then what I would say to the BBC is this: you have 2 options now available to you, right? And the 2 options are this, right? You put the show on out of his misery and put it on hiatus, or, which is the second option, which a lot of fans won't agree with, but you bring it back to the BBC, you tell Disney to go fuck themselves, or they probably already walked, and you tell RTD to go fuck himself and get rid of him and Bad Wolf, right? And you go back to basics, and you bring in sci-fi writers, right? Not drama writers or queer writers or this, that, and the other, right? You bring in sci-fi writers, right? Now, the thing with the second option is that The ratings are not going to do well at the start. But if you keep producing a solid enough sci-fi show with everything that Doctor Who fans expect from Doctor Who, that audience will slowly come back, right? It will take time. Now, I don't know if you are willing to wait or you want that audience straight away, but you aren't getting it, right? But these are the two options that are available to you, right? You put the show on hiatus, or Disney fucks off, Bad Wolf fucks off, RTD fucks off. You have nothing to do with them pricks anymore, right? And you bring in sci-fi writers and bring in people that know how to write science fiction, right? They don't necessarily have to be fans of the show. And this is the biggest mistake that you have actually made. RTD, Stephen Moffat, Chris Chibnall are all self-proclaimed fans. Yeah? And this is the issue that we do have, right? It worked at the start. Nobody will deny that. It worked at the start bringing these people in, but it's not going to work for Doctor Who moving forward, right? Doctor Who has to go back to basics, right? If you want, listen, a lot of people already believe it's dead. It is, right? But the thing about it is, if you don't want to give up on this show, because I know you don't, because I've been told that you wanted this era to be a huge success, right? You were hoping to make mistakes from the previous fucking mistakes that you made, right? But it hasn't worked out. So it's time now for BBC to do what they should have done from the very beginning, and is actually take a massive gamble and bring in people that know sci-fi, right? And that can go back to basics. Strip this show back. Listen, I've been watching Jon Pertwee, as I said. I just finished what was the story I finished? Well, I haven't actually finished it. What am I talking about? I fell asleep last night watching it on the sofa. But what was the fucking... It was... What was the story I was watching? Oh, yeah. Connolly in Space. I can never say it. Connolly in Space. That's the one I was watching. Right? And what are they? How many episodes? I think the Pertwee era, I noticed, had long episodes. Man, long episodes, right? I mean, parts, I should say. But you are invested. So, what am I on? Episode, I think I'm on the second last episode now, right? But 6 episodes, 25 minutes each, and I was invested. I didn't get bored or anything. I loved it, right? Obviously, there's this, obviously the Master and the Doctor have been kind of back and forth these last few stories, actually. But that's what I've been watching, right? Now, I know this era of Doctor Who, a certain woman out there back in the day was complaining that was too violent. But but I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but we need a Doctor Who dark and gritty now, right? That's where we need to be going with it. We need to be going the Pertwee route or the Tom Baker route with Doctor Who now. We need to move away from, you know, these like fairy dust stories that where everything is grand and nobody, you know, everybody lives and all of this shit. That has to go. We need to go back to an era of Doctor Who where you're seeing people being shot on screen, falling over, people dying and stuff, right? And the Doctor getting a bit handy with the action. Woo! That's what we need, man. It's the only way we're saving this show now, right? All of this fucking, you know, good looking down. Let's get a good looking Doctor in. No, that shit is way over now, right? Just bring in someone that has a face looking like a fucking alien like Tom Baker did. Look at Tom Baker, man. He's got the weirdest looking fucking face in the world, but he worked for Doctor Who. He's a fucking legend, right? He's considered the greatest doctor that we ever had, right? But if Tom Baker had been a good looking man, it wouldn't have worked, man. It wouldn't have worked. Get rid of the comedy. Exactly. When there's comic moments in Pertwee's era, say with Tom Baker, but it was done in a way where they knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? The writers knew, yeah, this will be funny. Whereas now, it's like as if, you know, they write these things, but they're not trying to be funny, but it's intentionally funny because it's so fucking bad. The show needs to go back to its roots, right? It needs to go back to its roots. If it doesn't go back to its roots, this show will never be a success again, right? And that's what BBC have to do. And BBC need to listen to people out there like myself. And I'm sorry, might sound like a bit of an ego, but I don't care. BBC do need to be listening to fans like me, not listening to the Theresas of the world and all of these other people that have wormed their way into the show's good graces and you know, get to the slag fans off because they won't get on board with the queer-infested Doctor Who that we get today, right? The bottom line is that you are listening to the wrong fans. You need to be listening to fans, right? Not these fucking leeches that leached onto the show because it was popular, right? Because when you actually analyse these people and actually get down to the nitty-gritty, you could tell that they're not actually really fans of this show because everything that they put out there contradicts what the show should be. Exactly. Well said. Well said. Hire mediocre people, you get a mediocre job done. Absolutely, 100%, 100%, right? Matt Smith's doctor. I think Shelley. I don't know if you're talking about Matt Smith's doctor, but look at Matt Smith, right? I know everybody says, he's a good-looking guy, but he had a weird-looking face to me. I mean, his chin was chiseled. You know, he did look like a fucking alien. That's why it worked with him as well, right? He looked like a fucking alien, just like Tom Baker, like. And of course, now the media are putting out their lists of who to replace, and every single fucking choice they put is uninspiring. Of course, they put females in there again, so the media still haven't learned their lesson. Listen, if they cast another female doctor, it's over. It will be actually, if it's not over now, right, it will be over. Nobody wants a female doctor again, right? But here's the thing, a lot of fans are getting kind of distracted with the old, who's this reveal, right? Because, you know, they Shooty spoke about a reveal, right? Now everybody's talking the Master or the Rani, but nobody's even considered, because apparently there's going to be references to the Timeless Child bullshit, but nobody's actually figured out maybe it's Jodie Whittaker's doctor that's actually coming back. Now, I'm not saying she is. This is me speculating because we're talking about a reveal, right? If there's Timeless Child nonsense go through this, well, it would be logical to assume that the doctor that's supposed to be the Timeless Child, which is the Jodie Whittaker's doctor, could she not feature at the end of this series? Because think about it, now with this boy generation shite that they done, right, it's possible that she could make a return. And remember, you know, RTD can be very subtle. He's recently, well, not recently, but over the last few months, he put up photographs of him with Whittaker and stuff like this. And, you know, I'm not saying she's coming back, by the way. I'm just speculating that maybe that could be a reveal. It's either the Master, the Rennie, or it's the 11th Doctor. No, the 13th Doctor, sorry. Yeah, I keep that mixed up. It could be Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Right? Or something else completely that'll surprise us. Right? But there is a reveal coming. Doctor Who Mania. There's a couple. Listen, there's people that I know that are on Gallifrey base. I think Shelley there knows the rumors that you're actually talking about and stuff like that, and the leaks. Look, I don't. This is nothing against Gallifrey base or Reddit or any of those places, but as you know yourselves, I don't really trust those places 100% when it comes to source information or rumors. You know, the majority of the time, most of the stuff on it is bullshit, but you will get one or two people on it that do know what they're talking about, but it gets lost within all the other bullshit that people talk about. And Reddit is the same as well. I mean, there is a Reddit thread that we actually brought up on this channel where it seems like they got most of the information right. They got a few details wrong here and there, right? But on the majority, they got the information spot on. It can happen, but I don't rely personally on any of these platforms. I'm not on Gallifrey base, and I wouldn't go on Gallifrey base. And I've never actually used Reddit. I don't even know how you go about using Reddit. It's one of those things that's just I've gone over my head. You know, so anybody gives me stuff on Gallifrey base or Reddit, as you already know anyway, I tell you that I got it off Gallifrey base or Reddit. I don't hide the fact of where I get the stuff from. If it's obviously from my own personal sources, then I'll say, no, this is my stuff, right? And this is what I was saying earlier on when I used to bring guests on here. They used to talk about the stuff that they found online, and I say, well, where did you get it? And they'd either mention Gallifrey base or Reddit or 4chan or wherever it was. But I always made it clear to my audience that that's where those rumors came from. They weren't actually information that I was putting out. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I stand with it. I'm back at you, Noel. I've rewatched every Alien movie, and I've changed my mind on Romulus. It's even better. We will do, look, Romulus conversation. That whole stream will have to wait for a while. Obviously, Doctor Who's coming up, but you know, as I said, I want to bring some other people on while we do this. But look, I watched Alien the other night. I'm obviously going to watch Alien. I'm going to watch the third one. Then I'm going to watch Resurrection. I'm going to go all in order, but I'm being honest with you, Romulus is still shy, and it's Alien Light, and I want something new from an Alien movie, and we got nothing new. That's where I stand. Now, I could change my mind. We'll see, but I doubt it very much. Right, we've gone 55 minutes. I have to, obviously, as you know, I don't pay for StreamYard anymore because finances are a bit low at the moment. So we'll go for a few more minutes. But just to let you know, I will be on Dan's channel tonight. The Spacebook, I will be on the channel tonight at 8 o'clock. I don't know exactly what we're talking about. He's probably sent me the stuff that we're actually talking about. But I will be on Dan's channel tonight. It seems to be becoming a regular thing, me turning up on Saturday nights on Dan's channel. But I love it because it's a deadly stream and it's lovely and relaxing. And of course, some of you people here that are watching me will be in that chat later on. So thank you for the people that actually listen to Dan that are here now listening to me. I really do appreciate that. It really look, it keeps me going with all the bullshit that's going on around me, right? So I just want to thank you because you've been great. And yous all know what I'm all about, and yous know what I've told you. And I think I can safely say that there's nobody in the chat that thinks I'm a liar or any of the things that I've been accused of in this fandom by a certain person. I try to do my best. I try to report the best of my ability. And if I do get any stuff, I will say it's from my sources. If it's from anywhere else, I'll say where I get them. I think it's always important to be transparent with your audience anyway, and not claim to have sources when you have actually none. Imagine saying you live in America, but apparently you've got sources within the BBC. You've no sources in the BBC. Because here's the thing, nobody's working on Doctor Who at the moment, so how could you have sources? So I don't get that. You don't have any sources. You never did, right? Doctor Who came over to New York when they did Daleks in Manhattan and that other episode, and you got talking to a grip hand or a prop guy or whatever it was, right? And ever since then, you've been saying, oh, I've got sources inside the BBC. As if those people still work on Doctor Who all of these years later. As we know, staff come and go. You know, even when Chips came in, he brought in his own team. Even when Moffat came in, he brought in his own team. RTD came in, he brought in his own team. You don't have and never have any sources. And all you tell it as it is. Well, I try to be as I'm unfiltered. I tell you how I feel, right? And that's never going to change. Simple as that, right? It's never going to change. I'm not going to change who I am because people out there think I should change. Yeah, yous know. Listen, yous all know what I've said to yous, and yous know what I've told the truth about, right? And yous know when I've been right, and yous have know when, that as far as it comes to Doctor Who rumours, that you could trust this channel. Just like you could trust Dan's channel and any other channel that does this type of thing. I try to, be fair and balanced also in my criticism. I will say it is hard sometimes because I absolutely hate all of these people that are ruining Doctor Who. So I do get a little bit emotional about and that's the thing I was trying to actually say. I said this actually I think I said it on Dan's channel a couple of Saturdays ago when I was on. We were talking about emotional connection and stuff, and that's the thing. These newer fans will never understand the emotional connection we have to Doctor Who or any other franchise. I don't know, some of you might be fans of Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever it is, right? You have emotional attachment to those franchises and the characters. For example, when Luke Skywalker was completely ruined, yous all lost yous shit. And why did yous all lose yous shit? Because yous loved the character Luke Skywalker, yous were invested and yous loved him. And then to see him being treated the way he was upset yous. In the meantime, the other side of the fandom were like, laughing at you and this, that, and the other. And it was like, oh, when is Luke Skywalker going to shag his sister? This is what these people are like. This is what these people, even Mark Hamill has come out with the bullshit saying that Luke Skywalker is gay. Luke Skywalker wasn't gay. She tried to shag your own fucking sister. What are you talking about? Before you knew she was your sister, you actually tried to shag her. Right? So, no, you weren't gay. Right? You absolutely wanted your sister, even though, you didn't know she was your sister, but you wanted her. Right? So, don't be giving me this shy Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker gay. What, you want to stay relevant, do you? You're not relevant anymore anyway, Hamill. If it hadn't been for your voice acting, or that Star Wars role. Nobody give a fuck about you, mate. Nobody give a fuck about you. You've done nothing of note in Hollywood since. You know, you've only got the Star Wars and a few fucking Joker roles in animation movies. Right? You're a nobody. And then you made a show of yourself when you went to the UK, couldn't keep your trousers up, or you were fiddling with yourself, or whatever you were doing. Right? What you done? Right? Oh, yeah, here, I'll give you a laugh. Apparently, Kathleen Kennedy is gone. But how many times have we heard that? I mean, I've been hearing that bullshit for the last, 8 years off a certain YouTuber out there that wears a mask. Oh, she's gone. Oh, no, she's gone upstairs. No, she's gone to the side there. No, she's gone down here. Oh, no, she's gone up here. Oh, no, she's down there now. Oh. Fuckers haven't got a clue. Right? She's gone when she's gone. Right? End of fucking story. But it doesn't matter when she goes. Right? The Star Wars brand is damaged. It's done. It's finished. Right? It needs to get away from Disney. Right? Now, it's a pity. It's a pity George Lucas just didn't say, fuck it, I'm going to buy it back. Right? And then hand it. Do you know what? I'd hand it to a smaller, independent fucking studio. Because you know what? They'd want to get it right. Because everything would be hinging on them getting it right. Biggest mistake that George Lucas made, and I can understand it. Look, I'm not going to give out to him, right? Because I can understand it. He's whatever age he is now, 80 something, isn't he? In his 80s or whatever, 70s or whatever, right? He just didn't have the passion for it anymore. And that's fine. That can happen. But the biggest mistake he made was selling it to Disney. He should never have sold it to Disney without at least having something in the contract where he had final say. But of course, if they're giving you 6-7 billion or whatever it was for it, I mean, they'd probably find it kind of cheeky that he's asking for to have the final say on stuff, but I would have at least tried. But anyway, as you know, I'm not really a Star Wars fan, right? I think Star Wars is actually, compared to Star Trek, it's dumb, it's stupid, lightsabers and all of that shit, but it's entertaining. And I have watched all of the Star Wars franchise because it was always on in me gaff, because my dad's a Star Wars fan. He loves it, but he's also a Trekkie as well. But I always prefer Trek over Star Wars anyway. I feel, you know, Star Wars is a kind of dumber version of you know, science fiction. It's just, you know, lightsabers and pew, pew. That's what I see Star Wars as, pew 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 in space. Where Star Trek, to me, there's more character development, more, you know, the stories are far more entertaining, in my opinion. So, you know, don't shoot me. I've always told people from day one I'm not a Star Wars fan, so don't have a go at me now, right? But I do respect the franchise for what it did. And I will say this, the best thing that Disney have actually done with Star Wars was a movie that we didn't even need, which was Rogue One. But it's the only decent thing that Disney have done with Star Wars, and that's Rogue One. That's it. Everything else, even The Mandalorian, ended up going shit, right? Rogue One is the only good thing Disney have done. Now, how long have they got Star Wars for now? How long have they got it now? And they've only been able to produce one good thing. Look at how they treated Walt. Well, I think Walt Disney, if he was alive today, listen, that Snow White movie would never have been made, right? They would never have made a live action movie of Snow White if Walt Disney was still alive, right? Snow White is a timeless classic, right? It's the movie that everybody remember. When you ask anybody to name a movie from the Disney brand growing up, it was always either Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and they're the three movies that actually stick out in my mind when it comes to when I talk about Disney. I mean, I love Snow White. I'll admit, I'm a fan of Sleeping Beauty. I think it's a great fucking movie, right? And I also love fucking what you call it. Fucking, I just met Cinderella. Fucking love the movies. Love the three of them, right? But again, you know, we mentioned those movies. I mean, two of those, I don't know, have they done Cinderella yet? Yeah, don't be surprised if we get a live action version of Cinderella if they haven't already done one. I don't know because I don't watch Disney anymore. But obviously, Sleeping Beauty, they kind of did a live action with Angelina Jolie, but it wasn't the Sleeping Beauty story that we saw in the animation. But there's no way that Walt Disney, would be doing live action versions of his animations. He was proud of those animations, right? Snow White, what was it, released in 1934, whatever it was, that was iconic for its time. It's the movie that people obviously, you know, as I said, when you mentioned Disney, Snow White. So, yeah, what was it? The Snow White rights were coming up. That's why they needed to do a new version of the film. Well, look, the Snow White story actually continues after Snow White. If anybody knows that, you know the books. So why they didn't go down that route and just make another animation movie? You'd think that Disney, right? I mean, you look at what Disney was able to produce back in the 1930s. Animation was Snow White, right? And look at the animation that they've produced over the years since then, right? And I'm talking about after Walt has died. Look at the animation shit that they've put out, right? And I mean shit because they have been shit, right? So, look, you think they'd be better? Disney still should be the number one when it comes to children's entertainment and movies. It should be, but it's not. It's not. All they do now is they hire people that, you know, are not qualified, you know, and we even see it with the Marvel Universe, you know, the bad CGI, you know, the fact that, you know, they're not paying the right people, they're cutting corners all the time. Pixar was great, putting Disney to shame. I do agree with you, Pixar have been great over the years, but don't be surprised if Disney trying in a last desperate attempt, you know, because this is what they do as well. They swallow up companies that make them look bad and put them under the Disney brand. But I don't think it will happen with Pixar. But Pixar is great. You're absolutely right. I'd rather watch a Pixar movie over anything that Disney do now. And that wasn't always the case. I was a fan of Disney. Listen, even Disney's movies that they did, you know, the Touchstone, what was it? Touchstone, fucking whatever it was, Pictures and Disney, you know, the more adult kind of movies that they were doing, or the family ones, you know, like Disney were untouchable back at a time. The art and touched turned to gold. And now art and touch, yeah, is around. Thankfully, Sleep Beauty hasn't had a live action film version yet for them to mess it up. Well, I don't think a Sleeping Beauty movie with the current woke ideology would work today. I think they'd have to completely change the story. Then you'd have an insufferable actress like Rachel Ziegler coming out and saying, well, we're not making the movie the way it was made before because it was misogynistic and your man forced himself on your woman and we can't have that. But of course they go to that because their sick minds automatically go to that. I mean, he kissed her because he knew if he kissed her, he would wake her up. That was the whole point of the fucking movie. But it gets lost on all these morons. Oh, he needs consent. He needs consent to kiss the princess. Exactly. Kissing an unconscious woman, they'd freak out. Exactly. But you see, their minds automatically go to the bad. They don't realise that there's actually context, that it's part of a course and he has to kiss her to bring her back. You know what I mean? See, when we were growing up watching those movies, we weren't thinking that, oh, look, he's kissing her without permission or consent. That's rape. But the modern fandom, that's exactly. They'd have their banners out, you know. Sleeping lives matter. Sleeping lives matter. Snow White originally choked on the apple core. Well, I suppose she had a choked on it. There wouldn't be a story because she'd be dead, wouldn't it? So I suppose they probably had to change that. Sorry, can't help myself there. But look at the industry as a whole. It kind of always does link back to Disney, BBC, all these companies. You know, it's a broader kind of conversation now on the state of Hollywood, the state of the industry. You know, and some people are saying, you know, the industry is slowly but surely changing. That's fair enough, but it's going to be at least another 4, 5, maybe 6 years before we see a complete end to this nonsense. So be prepared for a few more movies and TV shows that push certain ideologies and certain agendas. It's going to continue for a while. Hollywood is always slower than the rest of the world, but they will catch up. And when they do catch up, then listen, as soon as Disney make a movie, right, that doesn't have any of that shit in and becomes a commercial success, they will look at that and they'll say, oh shit, okay, so if we do this, we make money. If we go back to this, we don't make money. Now, just to tell you how bad it has been for Snow White, and why am I bringing up Snow White? Because Snow White is on Disney and we're talking about Doctor Who's future being on Disney Plus, right? But this movie is set to lose millions, right? It's set to lose millions. So much so that the executive producer's son decided to call out Rachel Ziegler or whatever the fuck her name is. And I'm going to read it to you now. Where is it? It should be in my chat there that I'm in with Cinnamon there. I'll just have to scroll up a little bit here. Hold on, where is it? I did put it in, didn't I, Cinnamon? Yeah, I did, because I think he's all commented on it, didn't you? But wait till you hear this, man. Some of you have probably already seen it. But for anybody that hasn't, I mean, where is it? Oh, jeez, I need to. Here we go. Is this it? No, that's Russell T talking bullshit. Yeah. No, here. How far up is this fucking thing? Hold on. Jesus, we do post a lot in this fucking group. Jesus Christ. Here. We're still going, folks. Just bear with me for a second. Jesus Christ. Here we go. So, hold on. So, son of Snow White producer unloads on Rachel Ziegler, narcissistic and immature, right? So, he turned around. So, this is someone decided to get smart and wrote, your dad flew to New York City to reprimand the young actress. Any words on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech. No, shame on your father. And this is what the son replied. You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family home to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics in the middle of promoting the movie, for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and to do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability. And her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and the crew and the blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. And that's how you fucking take down a 20-year-old little snot nose who thinks that the world should listen to her because apparently now she's famous and all of this. So she's got this self-entitlement, you know. And this is the repercussions, but this is what these actors and actresses don't realize. And this is what RTD needs to realize, right? When you open your fucking mouth with something political, you're going to turn everybody off your IP, right? And the fact of the matter is all the Jew-hating little scumbags can blame Gal Gadot all they want on the failure of this movie. But the failure of this movie is on Rachel Ziegler and all of the shit that she has been saying throughout her time, right? And in one of the very first interviews, if I remember, when she commented on the old classic of Snow White, didn't she say it was misogynistic and that that was not going to fly in the new movie? That basically they were going to do it their way because the old movie was basically a horrible piece of shit that doesn't deserve to be watched. And then she backtracked even then. So even before she started opening her mouth about fuck Trump and all of this other stuff that she was saying, she actually lambasted the original IP, the IP that actually made the Disney brand. And now look at the movie. Oh yeah, by the way, she's in the cinema. She took a little video because she doesn't get it because she's 20 and she's a tick. She did a video where she's watching her movie. Well, she's watching the titles and her name comes up and she does this little movie. I'm in the movie, look at me, in an empty theater. In an empty theater, right? You went to watch your movie in an empty theater. That theater could have been full if you had kept your mouth fucking shut. So the failure of this movie is on you. Nobody else. You. And this is why I'm saying as well, why am I bringing all of this up? Well, Disney have had a couple of flops now. How many more flops can they afford? And will they actually put their money where their mouth is in relation to Doctor Who when Doctor Who isn't doing well? And again, you know, YouTubers out there could say, well, it's doing well with a certain demographic. Even the media is reporting on it now, right? That the show is not getting the mainstream audience on board, the casual viewer, and fans have walked away. Well, she said she didn't want their business if they voted Trump. Well, there you go. She got what she wanted. Now she's actually... But you know what? Here's the thing. I know we all say as YouTubers, we're delighted when all of these movies flop because they deserve it, because of their attitude. But remember, right, and it's only a thing that I've started to realise over these last couple of years, remember, there are lots of other people that work on this movie who believed in this movie, who gave their all for this movie, whether it was working as a grip, or working as a costume designer, or working as the prop guy. It doesn't matter what job they had. right? Even the makeup artists. Remember, there's a lot of people that worked on this movie, and she opened her mouth, and now those people, right, they obviously would have been proud of what they produced, right, are now going to be devastated because it's not going to make the money that it should. And more than likely, what will happen is that those people, rather than the actress, those people that worked on that movie will probably find it hard to get a job in Hollywood again, right? And that's all thanks to a little bitch who couldn't keep her mouth shut about the president of the United States of America, because everybody has TDS now, and everybody is acting absolutely ridiculous. Apparently, Disney had to cancel her appearance on SNL. I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, I don't really listen to, unless there's concrete proof on that. You know yourself, Matt. But I wouldn't be fucking surprised. I mean, come on. I mean, they even tried to get her. They tried to reprimand her, and apparently she's ignored it. So this is what should happen. She should never work in Hollywood again. Right? She literally canned a movie that I don't know how much. What was it? How much did it cost to make the movie? 300 million or something like that, or whatever it was. And then all the other costs of promotion and all that. The movie is not going to make the money back. It's not going to make the money back. And then she was bragging that was the #1 movie all around the world at Disney. Yeah, as soon as the next movie comes out and knocks it off the top, which won't actually be hard. The thing about it is the reason why it's #1 movie right now is because there's no movies to rival it. But when all the other movies start coming out now, that #1 spot is gone within half a day. It won't keep that #1 spot. And I think it's already lost the #1 spot. So saying the movie is #1 in certain charts around the world means jack shit nowadays, right? It's bums on seats. And we've seen from the countless videos and pictures of people going to see this movie that the cinemas have been completely empty. What they should have done with this movie was, right, and I hate to say it, but what they should have done, they were never going to cancel it, right? They were never going to just do. What they should have just done was to save themselves any further embarrassment, because it would have been an embarrassment, but they should have just put it straight onto their streaming platform and not released it in the cinema at all. Minecraft movie is out next week. Well, that'll take its #1 spot if it already hasn't been taken. And I'm not a fan of Minecraft myself. I think it's probably one of the worst games ever invented. I don't get it. I actually don't, man. You're walking around like a brick person putting bricks up. I mean, how that's even going to make a good movie, I don't know. But I think Minecraft is stupid, and the whole premise of Minecraft is stupid. But of course, with games, it was a unique thing when it came out. So obviously, it's a franchise or an IP that everybody loves. But I don't get Minecraft. I never have. I never will. And now they're making a movie about it. The other reason why Minecraft was popular was because of the time that it came out originally. If you actually look at it and analyze it, it's actually a shit game. Always has been a shit game, but it has its audience, and people will watch this Minecraft movie. But it's a lot of bollocks if you ask me. I mean, next they'll be doing a Fortnite movie. Do you know what I mean? This is how ridiculous this will get. I think they've done a Dungeons and Dragons one, which was pointless. Now they're doing this one. I mean, what other obscure game that happened to be a shit game that happened to be popular, get a movie? What other one's going to get a movie now? It's kind of getting a bit. We've had Sonic, we've had Super Mario, right? They're the two main ones anyway. As for the rest of them, I don't really care. They did an Assassin's Creed movie, which was shy. They've done, loads of fucking not Street Fighter, but they have done Street Fighter as well. Mortal Kombat movies. They've done Mortal Kombat movies as well. You know, some of them being hit and miss. Yeah, I just no. Don't be. Listen, I'm sick of movies based off games now. Again, but it just goes to show you how creatively bankrupt Hollywood is if they have to go and do things like that. I used to love Hogs of War. We used to have 4-player tournaments. Obviously, seems that Cinnamon might be a fan of Minecraft. I don't get it though. It all started with Tomb Raider, yeah, with the Angelina Jolie movies. I mean, I have a soft spot for them, but if we're all honest with ourselves, they were shy. Twisted Metal, which was actually good. I haven't seen Twisted Metal, but if you say it's good, garbage, I take your word for it. New live action Legends of Zelda. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, if there's any Legends of Zelda fans out there, did you actually ask for this, like this movie? Because this is what I'm saying. I think they're creatively bankrupt, so they're just looking for anything to do with. So if they find a game that's popular, let's do a movie based off that game. Mario Kart's next. Oh, Jesus Christ. The Fast and the Mario. It's ripping the piss out of the Fast and the Furious. Look, I love Mario Kart's a game. I love the original Mario Kart as well. Like, you know, would I like to see a Mario Kart actual movie? See, that could be good. That could actually be good. But we've got the Super Mario movie. So, you know, they're doing another one. So I'd like to see where they go with that. You know, you could probably have a spin-off, the Fast and the Mario or whatever. I actually like the Tomb Raider films. The Resident Evil movies got worse as they went on. Yeah, I do like Sonic the Hedgehog. Obviously, I'm a Mario fan, and obviously Sonic. Well, there's always this thing in the 80s that they were rivals, but I don't actually think they were really, really proper fucking rivals. They just made the Sega and Nintendo just made two great fucking characters and did their thing, right? But I like Sonic the Hedgehog. I like the movie. I don't think the movies have been bad. You know, that Force movie is deadly. And of course, we get introduced to Donut Lord in that movie as well. Deadly. Silent Hill is my favorite game adaptation. That is a movie, isn't it? I don't think I've seen that now. Might have to check that out if it is a movie. But yeah, the Resident Evil movies did get worse. I mean, the games are brilliant. Fuck the movies. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I'm streaming with Dan at 8 o'clock over on the Spacebook. So if you just want to go over there and give him a subscribe as well as subscribing here, leave a comment. Obviously, if there's any more Doctor Who news coming up before obviously all the madness begins again, we will keep you informed. The Donut Lord in Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, that's who I'm referring to. I'm not referring to some other person that eats donuts. No, I was actually referring to Donut Lord. And I love it. I love that whole scene with Sonic Donut Lord. It's deadly, man. Anyway, yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will be over on the Spacebook, and I'll be back here, which is all very, very soon. And thank you for tuning in, and leave a comment in the comment section. It does help with the algorithm. So I'll see you at 8 o'clock on the Spacebook. So go over there now. I don't know if he's put the stream up, but get yourselves in the chat there and yeah, prepare to be entertained for 2.5 hours or whatever it is we go for. So see you soon. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.